An elven warrior trapped on modern-day Earth. Two friends with different destinies meet at a magical school. These are some of the stories we at Electric Lips Comics are working on. You can get your copies of both The Mana Chronicles and Tales of Mithril at elpmerch.com. Support independent creators. Explore the merch featuring exciting ELP Comics art with a wide range of designs. Electric Lips Comics. Imagination electrified.
Welcome everyone to Conversations in the Void. I'm your host, Graybeard, joined as always with my off-screen producer, Salem. Make sure to say hi to Salem. He's in the chat, listening and watching everything we do. So without further ado, I am pleased to introduce our guest for tonight. He is writer, director, metal, and horror lover with the works, including Finally Home. Please welcome to the Void, the one and only Treagon Moss.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Like I said, it's Wednesday. It's getting there, Going to a con this weekend,
nice.
So that's exciting. Invited to our first con, so
yeah.
But
awesome.
Let's get into this. So I said I had a chance to watch Finally Home, and I get to know our guests a little bit more before we go into kind of the meat and potatoes of the show. So, what you remember, like your first horror movie?
I want to say it was either Jaws or Tremors. I watched when I was like 5 years old. And I remember just loving it. Like I had an obsession with Jaws for a while before I even watched the movie. I'd take out shark books from the school library and all that. And then Tremors I just always loved. We had the first 4 on DVD and I just watched them over and over. Like I love those movies.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had the privilege and honor of talking to Carl Gottlieb, who wrote Jaws.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he was really cool dude. Sick of talking about Jaws, but it's the 50th anniversary, and it's just an absolute blast just to talk to him.
Yeah.
Tremors, I love Tremors, ass blasters and grab bullets.
Yeah, they're ridiculous, but they're so much fun.
Yeah, creature features are fantastic when done great.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I always ask this question, like people have no right or wrong answers, but what would you consider Treagon to be the most underrated horror IP or franchise or anything that you like? You find out someone's never seen it, you go, hey, you have to watch this right now.
Franchise or IP is a tough call.
Like, it could just be a singular movie too.
But a single movie, like I always love to shout out I Saw the Devil, Korean movie from 2010. So good. Like it's kind of on the border between like thriller and horror, but with some of the moments it is definitely full-fledged horror and just filmed so well. The acting is fantastic. It's brutal, and just like the whole revenge aspect is, I don't know, it's perfect to me. It's a perfect horror movie.
Yeah, we not Korean, but we do another show where we review horror movies 3 or 4 a week, and next couple of months is going to be all new French extremity and Japanese horror, and I'm excited. I haven't seen a lot of them, so it's a good way for me to catch up to stuff that I missed over the years.
Yeah, no, I like the extreme horror. Like I've watched Martyrs a couple times. I've seen Raw. I don't know if you'd consider Climax French extreme, but it's still French and pretty intense.
I think
High Tension.
Yes.
Frontiers, like those just insane movies. And Inside, that one's that is something else. Yeah.
We did Inside, Martyrs, and High Tension for our first one that we did. I think last year, and next we're coming back to it, so it's exciting. So then, Treagon, the reverse side.
Okay.
What is the most overrated horror movie or IP or franchise in your opinion?
I'm not the biggest fan of the first Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
I think most of the sequels are better than it.
Yeah.
I like the third one is fantastic. Greatest scares. Marked Ones is so much fun and just takes it in a whole different direction. But by far 4 is the worst. Like just abysmal. It's so bad.
Yeah, I remember when Paranormal Activity came out, and the marketing thing was amazing. Like, hey, come see the scariest movie, and you have to vote for it to come into your city. And
Yeah.
to me, that was just a genius move,
Mhm.
right up there with Blair Witch Project. The marketing was amazing. I requested it. My name is on the credits of the DVD. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, like I said, I like to hear that because my personal strong opinion is the Conjuring universe should not make $2 billion. But
Yeah, like 1 and 2 are good. I never got around to 3 because I heard it sucked. I watched both Nun movies and they both were awful. Second one better than the first, but still not a good movie.
yeah, there's hopefully The Last Rites, which is coming out this year, is the last one. Yeah, we were not fans of Ed Lorraine Warner here on our channel, but
Yeah, yeah, I know they're famously phonies,
absolutely.
but whatever. The movies are creepy, so
Yeah, rated R for spooky, but yes. So
yeah. I
Treagon,
think I enjoyed the second one more than the first. I like the vibes and I find it a whole lot creepier.
yeah, that actually had the nun in it, so
Yeah.
Valak for sure.
Mhm.
So Treagon, then let's get into kind of more about you and how did you get into filmmaking with Finally Home? I'm assuming being your first feature length movie, correct?
Yes. Yeah, it is my first feature length. I don't know, a lot of different things. I've been into movies my whole life.
Mhm.
Like I made videos with my friends it started out as like a parody of the It movies and
Okay.
was just insane. Filmed from like a vlogging style before I even watched found footage movies. So it was
Okay.
like Georgie was like a vlogger going around downtown, and he meets Pumpernickel, the dancing, singing clown, who's just like in a those like drain spouts in front of a basement.
Yeah.
That's where I was. I was like 12 years old, crouched down in that with a white and red Canada Day wig, just like ridiculous. But when it came to Finally Home, like I had been watching a lot of found footage movies, and I had an interest in making movies for a couple of years now. And then I was watching a bunch of found footage. I was like, I could do this myself.
Mhm.
I just got to come up with a good script. So I talked to my buddy Luke about it. We had a couple ideas to throw back and forth, and that's the one we landed on. I think I came up with it originally, but I don't want it to, yeah, there's him in the chat, RLKX Zap, that's him.
Hey, Luke.
But yeah, we kind of workshopped from there and we were like, yeah, let's do it. And I was coming up for a visit anyways. So we made the whole movie in like a week,
Mhm.
which made up of like 3 to 4 days of filming at most. Cause Noah, who's also part of the movie, we wanted him to join and like watch us make the movie and stuff like that. So funny enough, I had to go through the footage again because there was a scene where you could see his feet at like
Oh.
the end of the bed. So I had to trim that out. And I didn't even notice upon my first cut until I was watching it with my family, and they were like, "Whose feet are those?" I was like, "Uh-oh." But yeah, we
Yeah.
just came up with the idea. We made like a Google Doc where we had a point by point to go through, and
Mhm.
that's just how it came about. A budget of like $100.
Yeah. And that's awesome. I remember growing up because I'm probably significantly older than you, but I remember watching the Halloween movies as a kid and my friends and I making our own Halloween movies, not knowing that Donald Pleasance was already dead, that stuff like that. So we made our own Michael Myers. My buddy's parents bought him anything, so he had a camera. And I was, Dr. Loomis, and we just did our own stuff, and we continued that with our lives for a good number of years. But I stopped when I had to get a real job and go to work and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm back now with the Horror Dads making movies, so I'm happy with it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Release the feet.
That's Dallas. I know him. He's always talking about feet. On the comments of my movie, you can see him say needs more feet. Like he's a guy. He made the cassette and demonetized.
Okay.
which are like VHS fan films on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. That's awesome. But I mean, you talk about, making this for $100 and taking the week or 3 or 4 days shooting. And anyone who's watching knows that making the movie is no easy task. As you talk about, you had a Google Doc. There's a lot of thought process that has to go into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a matter of like the main points were how we wanted it to start, what we wanted it to lead to in the middle, and what leads to the ending itself. Because we knew the ending and how it would be before we even started filming. And then we knew the concept in general. So it's just a matter of coming up with each point to hit before we reach that conclusion.
Right.
To kind of lead a little bit more at a time to, not just have the twist be out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. Which we're not going to say what the twist is at all. But
Yeah.
no spoilers. You go watch it. So that's awesome. And with what you wrote, is a lot of it, most of it, ad lib, or is it all scripted, or kind of just a mix?
It's mostly ad libbed, like improvised. But we had specific sentences or phrases, and we'd go over it before we started shooting that scene. We'd be like, okay, make sure to bring this up, and say this at some point, and this is going to be the general idea of what you're going to say, and go.
Right. Yeah, that in found footage, that feels generally more natural.
That's what I think. Yeah, I've seen found footage movies where they're more scripted. There's this one called Safari about these people who are on like an African lion safari, and the thing breaks down because they decide to go where they're not supposed to go, and they're being like hunted by lions. And the movie was okay, but you could like them following it line for line was so awkward.
Yeah. But I mean, and it really kind of works with your actors and people you get into it. With the horror dads, a lot of our stuff is ad lib, but we have a 40 to 50 page script of, as you point, the points that we want to hit. Because if you don't hit those points, you don't move the story that we want to tell forward.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, it gets stale.
Yeah, and unfortunately, for some people, default mode is angry with the found footage. I know it bothers some people a lot, but it's great to see that you really didn't have that in this film.
No, I'd say both of us kept like relatively calm.
Surprisingly,
even in the panicked moments, like it's not just like running around freaking out.
Right.
It's not Blair Witch. Why'd you kick the baby to the river?
Yeah, yeah, she gets angry a lot in that film.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lot to handle, but I mean, you can forgive it because it's still a good movie.
Yeah, and Laurel here with a question I want to have answer right now.
What did
you film on and edit with?
So what I filmed with is a little Canon camera from like 2009, something like that. And Luke filmed on a camcorder as well. I don't remember what kind, but it was another older one. Like not fancy, brand new. And then I edited it with oh my god, 1 second, I forget what it's called.
Oh, no worries.
It's DaVinci Resolve. That's what
DaVinci Resolve. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Was that your first time using DaVinci Resolve?
Yeah, I think so. I was kind of figuring out all the ropes with it. I think I might have used it before for like editing a YouTube video or something, but I hardly upload. So I think I used like the Microsoft Clipchamp.
Okay.
Before, but DaVinci Resolve is obviously the much better program.
Yes. Yeah. I use Adobe for everything because my wife is a teacher, so she gets the discount rate for everything.
Oh, well, why not at that point?
Right. Yeah, because you talk about editing YouTube videos. I've been doing this for 5 years on YouTube, so
yeah,
get to look at this face every day while editing. It's not fun. So, I mean, were you surprised with the amount of work you had to do for editing for your first movie?
Yes and no. It took me a little while to get used to it, and a couple things went wrong, and I had to troubleshoot and look up to see if some guy on Reddit from 12 years ago had the same problem. which was the case a couple of times, but with it updating since the last 12 years, I had to like refigure it out. In fact, the subtitles were the biggest pain in the ass for me because it just like decided to unsync halfway through the movie. So I had to go back and manually move everything forward like a millisecond at a time to get it to line back up, which was so bizarre and so frustrating to deal with.
Yeah, it's I had for Horror Dads, I was working on a movie that we did last year. I was trying to make the SRT files, and I tried to use the AI, and it was just abysmal at catching anything. And for quality control and assurance, you have to have like there has to be no gap in the subtitle, so you have to fill it with something, and it kind of helps you not have that desync happen, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Yeah, and everyone wants the Nick Cage pillow to be a character in your next movie, apparently.
He is in my next movie.
Uh-oh.
I have filmed it, I have edited it. It's an anthology, so I did a segment. It's called Vampire in Training, and Nick Cage is in the background. In a couple scenes. The movie, the working title is Analog, and I'm working on it with a couple other dudes that make found footage movies. Rob W, he does a reaction channel, and he does one of the segments, and it's awesome. I really like his segment.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know Laurel knows that too. And she says you're the youngest found footage director she's ever met and heard of. Super proud of your work. Yeah, you are definitely the youngest person we've ever had on the show.
Yeah, just 20.
Just 20? Yeah,
just
definitely
20.
The youngest.
Yeah.
So with your going from your first movie then to your second, what pitfalls did you kind of learn and help you with your next movie?
Well, the second one was a bigger pain in the ass to film, just because like weather and keeping in the consistency with not being able to film it all in one day. It was something. It helped me, figure out the subtitles with editing and everything before. I had to really trim it down though, which was quite different from having a feature length. I had to keep it down to like 16 minutes. So that was definitely challenging to figure out what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to get rid of. But overall, it was fine. It took me a few months, but I got to work with a guy who does CGI and stuff like that, which is totally different for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's nothing, super wild. It's not Avengers, but there are a couple VFX shots in it that I think work pretty well.
Yeah. It's VFX and found footage is tricky to say the least, with generally the budget that we have to work with.
Yeah, this had like 2 to 3 times the budget of my last one.
Yeah,
which isn't to say it's much, but comparatively.
Right. Without spoiling anything though, between Finally Home and this segment you had, do you have like the hardest scene to shoot in your head that you can recall?
Finally Home, hardest scene to shoot was the ending.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything, but one take for like 15 minutes or something like that. I nearly screwed it up and had to like rush out before I can't spoil it. I can't say much.
No.
But we very nearly screwed it up at a couple points. But it made it that much more satisfying when all was said and done. And I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I can. Yeah, I did watch it today. And so, yeah, and that scene was a close call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a couple times a close call.
Yeah, I mean,
I could talk more about it because it's hilarious, but I really can't say much without spoiling it. But let's say somebody had a lot of stuff fall right beside them.
Oh,
out off screen, and there was some stifled laughter I had to mute.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. With you directing this, and as an actor as well, was it hard kind of directing yourself in the scenes?
A little bit, but I found it harder at the start, and then as it went on, I got to know and like kind of become my character in a way. I know that's a really cliche thing that a lot of people say, but
Mm,
like you really do start to understand your character the more you act like them.
yeah.
Like I always knew where it was going to go, I knew what I was going to do, but it's a matter of just getting in the groove essentially.
And I get that. Yeah. For me, like I said, I edit myself across multiple shows and stuff like that. But when I'm in a movie, I will watch every part of the movie except my part. I refuse to watch my part. I just go, I don't need to see me. I see myself all the time. I will
Yeah.
nitpick myself to no end
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
fair.
So it's
Yeah.
just my
No,
pet peeve.
yeah, I can recognize the flaws in my movie too, but that didn't stop me from giving it a 5 on Letterboxd.
Exactly. And Laura wants to, are you working on getting this distribution?
We're finally home because I tried to, and just like I was using what they call it, Film Hub,
Mhm.
and just they were picky about the poster. I couldn't figure out what they wanted, and I couldn't get it undone. So it was 3 tries, and I screwed up, I guess. So I couldn't get her on anything, and I just said it's going on YouTube. Like that's my last chance. But this new one, yeah, we're gonna try to get it distributed if we can.
Yeah, it's a finicky road to get something distributed. They really
Yeah,
want like the QA to be like perfect.
yeah.
It's a pain. But as Laurel says, that's why she doesn't want to come on my show. She doesn't want to see it herself. Laurel, come on the show. Come on. Come on. We need to meet you.
Yeah, do it, Laurel. If I can do it, you can. Suck it up.
Exactly. Now with anything else, do you have any more movies or projects you're planning on 2025 that you can tell us about?
Nothing exactly. I've had like ideas kicking around that I haven't really stuck to any. I'd love to do another movie this year. But yeah, like I said, I haven't nailed a topic or anything yet.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of fun making my movies. You know, as much of a hassle as they can be, it's still fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you able to do everything in a given week, or for like horror dads, we are weekend warriors, right? We all have 9 to 5 jobs that we all kind of live far apart from each other too. So
Yeah,
we have to do like 4 to 8 weekends a year just to
right.
do one movie.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah,
you?
so I guess it would depend on, whatever I land on and the circumstances surrounding it. Like, am I
Mhm.
busy that week? Is something happening today? Is something happening tomorrow? Is there gonna be a bunch of snow out of nowhere in the middle of May? Like
You're in Canada, it's possible.
it can happen. There have been days where it snowed in June, like just one day for like an hour, and we're like where did this even come from? It's ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, and
Oh, thank you, Laurel.
yeah, and I want to talk about that. Your movie review videos. So
Yeah.
how do you pick a movie for review?
Whatever I want to watch.
Whatever you want to watch. Okay.
Essentially, like I land on a couple themes, like I do my horror roundup series. I did that starting in 2022. I did one 2023, and I'm still working on 2024. So I'll just go with that theme, pick one, and just watch it, review it, and that's how it goes. And like sometimes I get requests, and I'll actively seek out those before other ones if I can.
Mhm.
But otherwise, it's just whatever I feel like watching on that given night. Sometimes I'll do a found footage one for found footage frights, and like
Oh, okay.
it's just the vibe, really.
Yeah. Now, talk about roundups. Do you do like a top 5 for the year as well?
I have done, yeah. I think I did for 2022. I'm pretty sure I did for 2023. I know I did a tier list video on YouTube, and I think I gave my top 5 or top 10 or something like that. Right now, my top 5 for this year, it's hard to pick the order really,
Mhm.
but Longlegs,
Mhm.
Nosferatu, The Substance,
Yep.
Terrifier 3, I loved, and number 5, 'cause there were a lot of good ones. I'll go with VHS Beyond.
No Alien Romulus on that top 5?
Alien Romulus was really good too. Again, it's up there. Smile 2,
Mhm.
also really good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pretty solid movies, but overall, I think the year was a little weaker, but definitely some standouts still.
Oh,
and
yeah.
of course, above number one is this little indie movie called Finally Home, released only on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah, we because we do, like I said, 3 or 4 movie reviews a week, so it's not always just new movies. So we go back in the catalog and do themes and stuff like that. But yeah, top 1 and 2 between my co-host and I is Alien Romulus and The Substance.
Yeah,
we toggle between it. I said Long Legs definitely on there. Nosferatu. It's just amazing stuff that came out this year, but kind of the high highs, but the low lows are pretty low this year too.
imaginary. That's all I'll say. And
Yes.
The Strangers Chapter 1. Oh my! That movie genuinely made me angry. It has been a while since I've had something like that, where I felt mad that I watched it for free. Like I felt like I should have gotten my money back.
Yeah, that was the new Salem's Lot for me this past year.
I didn't hate that one. I thought it was a serviceable popcorn horror.
I guess I love the book, and it's so far from it.
Yeah, I've got to read the book still. I own it, but I haven't gotten to it.
Imagine it was for children. This Laurel, yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I have to go.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
Okay, no worries. So, chat, we haven't had a chance to talk. Let me know what your top 5 and bottom 5s are for the year. Like I said, it's an interesting high and lows for it. So, you never know. So we'll wait for Treagon to get back. But Biggs Waste, Land of Smiles. Wow. I don't think I know that. Land of Smiles. Who did that one? Don't Hug Me. Interesting. What am I looking forward to seeing this year, Laurel? For sure, I think the Alien Earth is going to be, as a TV show, is going to be the top contender for this year for me. I'm personally excited for the new Final Destination, the Bloodlines, just because I love the Final Destination series, even though it gets a lot of crap for it. So, and then I'm excited for The Monkey, because that's by Oswald Perkins. Welcome to Derry, I'm excited for as well. I feel like Welcome to Derry could have been season 3 of Castle Rock, quite honestly, because I love Castle Rock season 1 and 2. I would love to have seen it continue with that theme and everything else. He just felt insulted. Don't hug me. I can see that. Ooh, Smile 2, Oddity, Mads, and Daddy's Head. Yeah. Oddity was a high up there one for me, for sure. I don't think I put it in my top 5. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But in 28 Years Later, yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I live with my grandparents, and my great-grandma fell, so we had to help her back up.
Oh,
she
no
fell
worries.
out of bed.
Oh, no worries. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah. But yeah, we're kind of about into these roundup questions because we're about at that time. So Treagon.
Yeah.
What is your favorite scary movie altogether?
My favorite, or the one, like what? That's a really tough question, because there's one that I watch more than the others, but I don't know if it's if it's like the best technically. But that one would be Saw 2.
Okay.
I love Saw 2. It's so fun. It's like the twist is the best in the series. The traps are great. I love the dialogue between Detective Matthews and John Kramer. Like everything, it's the best Saw movie. I love the Saw movies.
Yeah. All of them,
But,
including Spiral?
I like Spiral more than Jigsaw.
Really?
Yeah, I actually think Spiral's kind of, it's just an entertaining movie for what it is. It's kind of bad, but like it's got cool traps. It's, it's whatever. It's a movie.
Yeah. So what's one that you watched the most then?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
I Saw 2 is the one I'd watched the most.
Okay.
2 and 6, but 2 is my favorite for sure. And
Awesome.
Saw X would be a second in the series.
Yeah, Saw X was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But
yeah, in terms of favorite horror, I'd say probably I Saw the Devil. Like, honestly, I love that movie. It's so good.
See, this is why I like to have guests on the show and learn about people's tastes, because it's a horror community and everyone has their favorites.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Unless it's, the Conjuring universe. But all right. So Treagon, the hardest question of all time now. Practical or CGI?
Practical. All the way. CGI can be cool in moderation. Well, either you go all the way with CGI or you don't. Because absolutely complete turnoff every time is CGI blood. I hate it.
Yes. It's really, really bad.
Every time. You can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some movies where they go so over the top with it, like what is it? Boy Kills World. And like some other just over the top action movies where it's like, okay, whatever, they know they're being ridiculous and that's fine. But if you're expecting me to take it seriously and there's a splash of CGI blood, it's just takes me right out of it. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I said 72 people have said practical. One person said CGI just because he does VFX work for a living.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and Terrifier's proven practical is superior.
Oh,
I completely agree.
Yeah,
and I think look back at CGI, like this is really bad CGI. And what my co-host and I discussed on our other show, I was like, you know what? We rewatched, I Am Legend.
Okay.
Horrible CGI now.
Yes.
Good then, horrible now.
Yeah.
I go, why don't we just take the movies that have really bad CGI and use the modern computer on it and change nothing else except the part that's for CGI?
Yeah, there's so many movies you could do that with. Just like do a CGI revision. Like just do it better.
Yeah. Ooh, top 5 is
top
Gungeon.
5. Oh yeah, Gonjam. That is a great found footage movie. Yeah, my like found footage movies, I could also do a totally different top 5, but like,
yeah,
I won't drag this out too long.
Oh, no worries. All right, so Treagon, if someone knocks on your front door and says, "I have $1 million for you to make the next installment in this franchise," what would it be?
Trying to think of one with like a really low bar. Because then you can only go up from there.
At the end, yeah.
Jeepers Creepers, I guess. I mean, I've only seen the first one, but I've heard 3 and 4 are like pretty rough.
For a long while, Jeepers Creepers Reborn was our worst rated movie that we have done in the 370 movies we've reviewed. Reborn is so bad. I wish I was able to drink enough to forget it, but I haven't been able to do that. But yeah, I think a good Jeepers Creepers it's due. I think the first one and second one were really good. Third one, awful. Fourth one, like I said, it's atrocious.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the first one was kind of overrated when I watched it, but it's probably due for a rewatch. It's been a couple of years. I expected more of the Creeper. And it was more just like Justin Long and his it's his sister in the movie, right? Yeah, and they're just kind of driving around and they're like, there's this guy chasing us, and everyone's like, no, there's not.
Yeah, they're in Texas. It's okay.
Exactly.
I mean, in the third one, his truck becomes sentient, so there's that to look forward to if you ever watch it.
I still don't know how he got the vanity plates. He had to go and get his truck licensed and road safe.
It's sentient, so it just made its own.
Yeah, I guess that checks out now.
Exactly. Any movie recommendations? I didn't make my first review since July.
Let me think. For horror, then again, like, you have to pick a subgenre, but like recently, like I said, Nosferatu is good, but I don't think it's streaming yet.
No. Well, Luke, if you haven't seen it, I would say In a Violent Nature.
I did not like that movie. It was boring and had one cool kill.
Uh-huh.
I liked Skinamarink, for the record. I loved it. And In a Violent Nature was boring as hell.
See, we differ completely on that one. All right, so Treagon, any advice for people getting into filmmaking that you can give that you learned along the way so far in your time doing it?
Just do it. Like, there's nothing stopping you. You can make a movie on a budget of this much and like have it do well. You just have to, you know, make sure you know where the story's going, because you don't want an aimless story. You want to know your exact beats, and that's where you go from there. If you're doing found footage, improv, but again, know your lines.
Yeah, everyone, this is my story. Is I remember directing a scene and telling people to hit the marks of like the exposition dump while I'm laying on the ground, head bloody, and trying to direct it. So, the key points are there for a reason.
Yeah, you have to know what you're gonna hit.
Yeah. All right, so Treagon, you ready for your random horror trivia question?
Sure, I'm probably gonna bomb this, but I'm ready.
All right. Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, so are you. Name that movie.
Is it My Bloody Valentine?
It is.
I haven't watched this movie since I was like 15, so that was a lucky guess.
Yeah, I said I'd literally just take the next card over, so I'm actually rewatching those for this week or next week for our reviews. So
yeah,
awesome. So Treagon, before we sign off, where can people find you, follow you, learn everything about you and your work?
If you want to find my movie, it's just search up Finally Home Movie 2024. It's on YouTube. You'll see it. It's not the romance one that appears first.
Are you sure?
Fairly certain, but I've had a couple people tell me the movie's a gay romance. So on TikTok, I'm Treagon.Moss. On Instagram, I think I'm still Treagy Boy, TreaGyBoy. And that's pretty much everywhere I post. those two places. But occasionally YouTube, again, Treagon Moss. It's the only account you're gonna find with that name.
Yes, and if you want to talk to myself and Treagon, don't forget to go to our found footage Discord server as well. You'll see ourselves and other people in this chat here as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you, Treagon, for coming on tonight. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. I'm glad.
Yes, and always, I'm Graveyard. Follow me on all social media at PodOutatNight to learn everything that we do with all new stuff that we have. And we now Game Out at Night, where I'm currently playing through Man of Medan and Silent Hill 2 Remake. So make sure to check us out over on Twitch as well. And thank you again, Treagon. We'll see you next time. Don't get lost in the void. Good night.